possibly the most controversial research facility in the world. Now, I can't tell you exactly where I'm going because a lot of people are dead set against both what's going on out there and the man who runs the entire operation. Craig Venter was one of the first people to decipher what makes us people and not, say, dolphins or seaweed. He jointly sequenced the human genome, the complete set of genes that is unique to humans. And Venter is now taking that genetic research one step further because he wants to create new forms of life. For some, Craig Venter holds the answers to our world's future. But to others, he's Frankenstein, a scientist playing God.
We're trying to understand basic life by learning how to now write the genetic code. So we start with the digital code in the computer and 4 bottles of chemicals, and we actually build the DNA molecule from scratch.
So you're designing a genetic code on the computer, and then you're actually making it in the laboratory.
Exactly.
And I'm sure some people would be very scared of that notion.
Some people prefer to live in a cave and work with whale oil lamps, right?
Is there any danger that in the future they will harm the environment or harm us because they're not natural living beings?
If irresponsible scientists design things to go into the environment, yes, I think that's always a potential danger. One of the rules that we've tried to establish is that nobody makes anything that can survive in the environment on its own.
To help in his quest for new life, Craig Venter is taking his boat, Sorcerer 2, on a high-tech mission around the world. Combing the depths, the controversial millionaire scientist hopes to find unknown species whose unusual genes could be the basis for new synthetic life. So, do you reckon there are like many new species just on this filter paper alone?
85% of what we find is totally new.
That's pretty incredible.
So that means there'll be lots of new ones here, and thousands or millions of new genes. So
that's amazing.
We've discovered now about 20 million genes. So before we started the expedition, there was only about 1 million known to science.
20 million genes already you've discovered just from the ocean?
Just from these filters off this boat. Wow. So the majority of genes known to science came from this vessel.
Now the big question is, why is he doing this?
Knowledge and science is not just a nice thing to have. It's an absolute necessity now. So we have 6.5 billion people on the planet. In 40 years, there's going to be 9 billion people. We can't provide food, medicine, clean water, and energy for the 6.5 billion. We have to have new science, new knowledge to be able to survive.
The controversial scientist even claims his new life forms could be the answer to the world's energy crisis.
These are the organisms that capture CO2 back from the atmosphere. These are the organisms that actually make the oxygen that we breathe. Some of these same organisms could be the solution for future energy, new ways to capture back CO2, new ways to make fuels instead of burning oil and coal. Now we can genetically modify to have them do that process much more efficiently.
But obviously there's going to be people who are saying, you know, you're playing with life here, you're making new synthetic organisms. Is that really moral?
It's absolutely moral. It's immoral not to do this work because it's such a dire consequences if we don't have some new solutions.
Why, in your eyes, is this the only way forward? I mean, why is it clearly just the way to go?
Well, it's not the only way forward, but biology is the only one that's truly scalable in a short period of time to have a big impact. It's not often you meet a man who literally could change the world, and this kind of research is truly revolutionary. Like him or loathe him, Venter is pushing the boundaries of science, and with it may just shape the future of our planet.